Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all honor, praises, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rechakodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. You know, we're a couple brothers from the GMS SF Bay Area camp, and we come together through the Spirit to do a lesson, you know, basically going into the Lord's Word, you know, and prophecy being fulfilled. And one of those prophecies being what? The Great Awakening. You know, Israel remembering who they are, you know. And you have a documentary coming out, you know, by these Christians, you know, the so-called black church, because hey, there's a so-called black exodus. You know, a lot of people, a lot of Jake are leaving these churches. You know, a lot of people in general are leaving these churches because hey, the truth is not there. You know, so you got this documentary coming out called Unspoken, you know, where they're trying to basically, you know, bring back their congregation. And you know they're gonna paint a negative picture towards, you know, the truth, because they did show images of Israelites, you know. Hey, but you can't stop this. You can't stop Israel. You can't stop Israel from waking up. You can't definitely stop the Lord's word, you know.
Because this is all prophecy, man. You know, it's the Lord's program that's going on within the earth. And the Lord said that in the latter times, he was going to wake up his chosen people. All right. Because the Lord didn't cast us off forever. That's the thing that these other nations, including Esau, Edom, was thinking, man, that the Lord just done away with us. But now the Lord is raising us up, and you see that these other nations are starting to get scared, man. And on top of that, 2/3 of Israelites, all right, that love this current system, all right, the Christians, all right, they're all afraid of the awakening. But I got a quick precept.
Yep. And one thing I wanted to mention too, that you said that, hey, a lot of people think that this isn't biblical times, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of people think that, hey, what happened in the Bible, you know, we can learn from it. And then, you know, a guy named Jesus died and we listen to what he says, but only here and there a little bit sprinkled in, you know, amongst the churches. But that's it. You know, some people think it's a mythological book. Hey, we are living in biblical times as we speak, you know? Hey, look at what's going on in the world. The war in Ukraine, that's biblical. That's wars and rumors of war. Hey, Yahweh Shai is going to come again. This is called the second coming. And he gave us certain things to look for, you know? Now you think that, hey, this great awakening is just all coincidence and it's just all some different religion? No, this is actually biblical, you know?
Yep.
But you got it.
It's happening as this place is collapsing.
Yep.
You know, these other religious groups has been around, but nothing has ever really happened until the Israelites woke up. So this is Romans chapter 9, verse 26. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power.
And where is that? It's definitely not in the land of Israel, because what they say, those are the people. But it's funny how they only mention that it's one tribe. And they won't even say that tribe, Judah. They say they're Jewish, you know? But where are they saying? Where are the people waking up? Here in America, you know? Right. Here in America, that the so-called greatest empire to exist, where the people, you know, the Israelites are at the bottom of the barrel. You know, they were uncivilized, hanging from or jumping tree to tree in Africa. They were brought over here to be civilized as slaves, you know. But who are they? They are actually the Israelites.
Yep.
You have the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, and all those people, hey, what has Esau done? Raped, murdered, slaughtered, put into subjection, you know? But these are the actual people, and we're waking up.
And that's how you know we're the Israelites too, is because all the tribes of Israel that's on the 12 tribes chart, you know, we all have that one enemy, you know. And going back to the curses in Deuteronomy 28, you know, the Lord said that he was going to sick a nation on us, or a language we don't know, roughly paraphrasing. But, you know, pretty much the Lord was going to sick our enemies on us, all right? And the main one being Esau, Edom. Now, you look at all the tribes, the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Seminole Indians. We was all conquered by Esau, the conquistadors, you know, which were the Spaniards. You know, we was all conquered, you know. So we have that like enemy, which lets you know that, hey, we are one people, you know. It's just that all the tribes are so big, or you would think that the so-called Mexicans is a nation of itself. You would think the so-called Negroes and the so-called Haitians are nations of themselves. But nah, we're different tribes, and we make up one nation. You know.
Yeah, hey, that's a testament to one of the laws that Jake does like to follow, and that's be
Mm-hmm.
fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
You know.
And the scriptures say Israel is as the sands of the sea.
Yep.
You know, so no matter what you nations try to do, you're not going to be able to stop this, because you also have Israelites that look like you, that look like your nation. All right, because Jake was mingled amongst these heathen nations, and now Jake's seed, looks like the heathens, but they're still Israelites. So you're not going to be able to put a stop to this, man. The Lord is raising up the nation of Israel in these end days. You got it.
Yep. I got this Isaiah 55:10.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and make it bring forth and bud."
Yep, and that's a certain thing, because when it rains, the rain doesn't reverse and go, come out of the ground and then go up into the earth. That's not happening. You got it.
Yeah. Hey, what are we in? We're in the time of spring, so you see everything budding out, flowering. It
Yep.
doesn't stop. The cycles continue.
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure, make that statement that it's a sure thing.
Yep.
It says, "But watereth the earth and make it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth.
Yep.
It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it."
Yep. So everything that the Lord has written in the scriptures is going to come to life.
Yep. And we just read it. What was it? Romans.
Yep. 9:26.
Hey, what did it say? Read it again, Bible Shop.
Romans 9:26. "And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people," which here in America, they tell us that we're not the Israelites. All these other religious groups come together under one banner to come against us, saying that you're not the Israelites. But I'm going to continue to read. It says, "Ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power."
Hey, so this is prophecy. It said it shall come to pass. So this is the Lord's word, and we just read it in Isaiah 55. And the Lord's word does not return unto him void. So it's going to accomplish that which he wants it to accomplish, and we're seeing it right now. Yep. This is the time we're living in. This is the great awakening.
Yep.
Well,
why do you have so many celebrities claiming that they're Israelites?
Yep.
They might mention it, and then next thing you know, they'll get jacked up in the media, and then now they got to close their mouth. They can't mention it no more. But this thing is spreading, man. Everybody in the entertainment industry, the movie industry, it's a common household thing that everybody knows who the real Israelites are. Whether they choose to believe it or not, they still know about this truth. A lot of Israelites, they call themselves Israelites, but then they're still acting like niggas.
Yep.
But nevertheless, this word has gone out. And that, like the brother is saying, that awakening, it tell you that in 2 Thessalonians, I believe it goes into there was a falling away first.
Yeah. Actually, I'll bring that out.
Because, hey, man, we have to fall away from our heritage.
Hey, which is prophecy.
Yep.
Hey, and Thawadi al-Bashim al-Shai, the Spirit has been dealing with our apostles and elders, their elders, on down to where we got this knowledge and we understand what's going on.
Yep.
We understand the mysteries of the Bible. Hey, but this is real quick, 2 Thessalonians 2:3, and it says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come." And what day is that? Hey, the coming of Yahushua.
Yep.
That second coming. So he's given us the specific thing to look for. And what does it say? "Except there come a falling away first." Now, what was that falling away? Hey, it started all the way back in 70 AD, and you could read on it. Read what happened. And a good book is Babylon to Timbuktu.
Yep.
It tells us how, we left Israel, we went into the parts of Africa, and then eventually what happened all the way up into 1400s, the transatlantic slave trade.
Yep.
So all through that time, 70 AD to up now, we have had that falling away. And what was that falling away of? Us losing our heritage. And
especially in a time of slavery, because that was the time where Esau beat our heritage out of us.
Yep.
They beat the memory of us being Israelites out of us. Because Jake in slavery, we knew it was Israelites. You know, Jake would look up and see the chariots, and that's why they had that old Negro spiritual, that song where it says, swing low, sweet chariot. You know, because we knew who he was, but over a process of time, Esau, you know, beat that out of us. And also he gave us that plantation Christianity,
Yep.
you know. So that was the falling away.
Yep.
You got
Hey,
it.
Esau didn't tell us who we were. None of these nations told us who we were, you know? But it says, just finishing the verse, it says, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Yep, speaking of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Now, we're in a time where the day is coming. The day of the Lord is return. Why? Because this prophecy has already been fulfilled.
Yep.
Like we read, the Lord, you know, his word does not go out void. So we fell away, but then now we're in a time of the awakening, and simultaneously Esau's being exposed, man. Even on a global scale, this devil is being exposed, man.
Yep.
You know, the bankers, all right, everybody is privy to the ways of this devil, man. You know, so hey, man, we're in that time, all right, and more Israelites is going to wake up because, you know, through the Spirit, there's going to be a large influx of Israelites start coming to the camps.
Yep.
Especially as times get more and more trying, because we're in trying times now. It's only going to get worse.
Yep. And we're literally the scriptures tell us everything that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, people are going to hear this like, oh, damn, they just said that was going to happen. Yeah, you know, because, hey, the prophets are here.
Yep.
You know? And one thing I wanted to mention on Esau is, hey, him being revealed is what? Hey, everything that he's done, you know, the atrocities he's done, the things he's lied about, and we know he's a liar. You know, you look at his track record, he's a liar. He's a murderer. He's a thief. And one of the things he lied about was who we were.
Yep.
He kept that heritage from us. The Esau knows who our people are. You know, hey, you go to the catacombs in Rome. All the pictures out there, you know, in those catacombs are so-called dark, you know, images.
Yep.
You know, they got the Russian icons, you know, all these different images. But what happened during that starting that Renaissance time, which means that rebirth, they started painting over the pictures. Yep. What do they call that? Iconoclasm.
Yep.
You know, this isn't conspiracy. You can look these things up. This actually happened. You know.
Yep, and that's why you know, they put their image there. They whitewashed the images too, to make it look like they was the people. And on top of that, that's why you can't say nothing about the small hats, because if you do question them, then you're gonna be looking like, well, you know, if those people ain't the people, then that makes what we're saying true.
Yep.
You know, when you put a scopeo, a microscope under them, they don't line up.
Exactly.
But then you look at us, and everything that's happening to our people is lining up with prophecy.
Exactly.
That's why these political leaders and kings of the earth, they know the truth too. They know that we're Israelites. You got it.
Yep. I got a quick precept. This is Psalms 83:1.
Mm-hmm.
It says, keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power.
Yep. And the Lord is not keeping silence because he has his men that he appointed, all right, to preach his word. You know, so the Lord is speaking through his prophets, so he's no longer holding his peace. You got it.
It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Yep. And the enemies of the Lord are all these different heathen nations, spearheaded by Esau, Edom. And then you got 2/3 of Jake that's going to war with the Lord too.
Yep.
Yeah.
It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. And so we're reading what happened, you know, in layman's terms, and we're gonna get it. All these nations conspired together to make us forget who our heritage, or what our heritage was. They beat it out of us. And I believe when you go into, I think it's the book of Judith. I may be wrong, but basically it tells you, you know, the Moabites or the Ammonites, they knew that if our power was for us, none of these people could come against us. But if we were against our power, basically if we were sinning and we had our power had a ought with us, then all these nations could come in and come, you know, take us down.
And it proves that Esau to this day understands that.
Exactly.
Because that's all he has our peoples engulfed in is sin and iniquity, and they promote that through music and other means.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Hey, there's no coincidence why these plantation Christianity churches are promoted.
Yep.
You know, because that takes us away from our power.
But the beautiful thing is now the Lord is not going to require all Israel. The Lord is only going to require a small remnant.
Yep.
You know, that's meet for repentance. Yeah.
Exactly. The elect have obtained, and the rest were blinded. That's all it's about, is the elect. But it says, verse 3, it says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
The falling away.
Yep.
That links up with what we just read in 2 Thessalonians. That's the falling away. These nations got together, all right, and caused us to the memory of us being Israelites to be put out of the earth, you know. And they did that through a lot of time, you know, effort, money, you know. They hid, you know, our artifacts, things of that nature, you know. And even now, you know, they're trying to hide that we're Israelites, but it's too late. They trying to block the videos, censorship, you know. They trying to put that propaganda machine, like the brother brought up, that Christian documentary. All right. But you can't stop what the Lord has set forth, man.
Yep.
All right. Even you trying to stop it is a part of prophecy.
Exactly.
And the Lord said you're not going to prevail.
Yep.
So yeah, so these nations you're gonna have to pay, man. All right, and that's what these nations don't want. They don't want to have to pay for the things that they've done unto the nation of Israel. Here it is, they thought they conquered us, you know, but now they seem that we're waking up. You know, fear is falling upon them because now they're realizing you're gonna have to pay for what you've done. All right, especially you Edomites. So I want to get a quick precept unless you've done.
There's a little bit more on there. It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Yep.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And what do our people say they are? Oh, I'm black, I'm African American, I'm Latin X.
Yep.
You know, Chicanx. You know, Native American. You know, everything except what? The nation of Israel.
Yep.
But it says, with one consent for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, and the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Selah. And who are all these nations?
Yeah.
These are the nations that exist today. You
Yeah.
have Japan. You have the so-called white man. You have China, the Chinese. You have the real so-called Africans, Ethiopians. You know, Amalek, the small hatters. You know, all these different nations have joined together to make us forget who we are.
Yep. Because we're the most important people on the earth, and these nations, they understood that. They understood that, you know, our power and whom we serve, you know, is the Almighty, man. That's why they gave him that title, Al-Asijah, terrible demon-like power. You know, they understood the flood. You know, they understood what happened to them Sudanese, which they was the Egyptians. All right. They understood what the Lord did to the ancient Egyptians during the time of the Passover. All right. So these nations, they know that we serve the living power. All right. But they're jealous of us and they hate us for that. You know, and they will rather us not be in power. They will rather us be degenerate.
Yeah, well, us not being in power gives them the ability to be in power.
Yep.
But see, what happens when they're in power? As we can see, they don't know how to manage the earth. They weren't given that knowledge to how to make things, you know, work in tandem, work, you know, balance. You know, everything's out of balance. You see what happens when the so-called white man's in control, and plus you got Ammon and Moab right by his side, you know. But the shit is going to shit, you know.
Yep. Everything is polluted, you know. GMOs, you know, the air is polluted. You know, the water's got microplastics in it. You know, a lot of animals, just recently there was like a bunch of birds, you know, dropping out the sky, you know.
Yeah.
So these people are not fit to rule. But yet they want to keep us down, and they know that we're the best people on earth.
Yep.
You know, the most, you know, talented, athletic. But they don't. Hey, man, the Lord about to change everything around. All right. That's why, you know, when they see a brother in the truth, you know, people bug out because, you know, we're walking like we're the sons of God now. You know, and before, you know, you see a lot of Jakes, they was just through, you know, acting like niggas, pants sagging, But then when they see brothers, you know, the fear falls upon them because they like, oh snap, you know, we recognize our power, you know, and they can see it. That's why if Jake was done with that.
Yeah, that's it on that.
Revelations 11:11, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them.
Yep. Which was that, what, 350 year period?
Yep, and that was the time of that slavery.
Yep.
Where they really beat our heritage out of us, you know. But you got it.
Yep. It was like what was it the late 1600s, 1700s, all the way to 1970. You know, it was a 350 year period, like the brother said, that time during slavery. And what happened? Read it again.
It says Revelations 11:11, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them.
Hey, and what is the spirit of life? This knowledge and wisdom, understanding who we are. Hey, there's a reason why we go out there and boldly proclaim, hey, we are the children of Israel. That's why we have the 12 tribes chart. And Lord's will, we'll get that precept. That's actually prophecy, you know, to break down the tribes, to say who they are, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And then to even go into the Israelite foreigners, the speckled bird, you know, which is all those who may look like a different nation, but their seed line from their father goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you know. Hey, this is prophecy.
Yep, and hey, you can't do nothing about it. Once again, Esau.
Nope.
Because that's why there's so much resistance. You know, because here it is. You know, anybody that's besides the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, anybody could step up and say that they're Israelites, and nobody would bat an eye. You know, people would actually support it. You know, especially those small hats. Nobody questions them or puts a microscope on them. But then when we say it, you know, then it's a whole problem. The whole earth is being unrattled, you know.
It's the end of the world. But literally, it is the end of the world.
You know, because it's true, man. What we're saying is actually true. Whether you choose to believe it or not, you're going to see it at the end. It tell you that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. When they see Jake's getting beamed up in those chariots, you know, then it's going to be, you know, even more apparent.
Well, some are just going to have to die, because what does the scripture say? The same shall know it, death by pain, roughly paraphrasing. You just going to have to die to see it, you know? You'll be good in the kingdom, though. You know?
Let me finish this. It says Revelations 11:11. It says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. And great fear fell upon them which saw them.
Hey, and that's what's happening. Hey, the true nation of Israel, which is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are standing on their feet, boldly proclaiming. And what's happening? Like we've been saying, hey, these nations are getting angry. Primarily Esau, Edom, because hey, that means his time is up. But even Jake that's joined hand in hand with Esau, you know, they can't handle it. But primarily, hey, what these Esau, Edom, and all these different nations are scared. They're scared because they're losing their seat, their power. You know.
And you have niggas that love Esau's rulership. They have Stockholm syndrome. They love their slave master, you know. So you got niggas actually coming up against this truth, you know, because they don't want us to wake up. They don't want us to come to our glory.
They want to be stuck in hell. You know, here it is. We have the gospel, which is the good news, proclaiming what's to come to our nation. Hey, man, words can't even describe how beautiful, how great it's going to be compared to this kingdom. But you have Jake, the 2/3 who are stuck here. And this is death. This is death for our people.
Exactly.
You know? But what does it say? Even though the wicked join hand in hand, they shall not go unpunished, roughly paraphrasing. So if you want to be a lapdog for Esau, go ahead. Hey, you're going to have your part in that lake of fire.
Because Esau going to lead you to death, really. You know, the scriptures speak about never trusting thy enemy. You know, Esau, hey, man, Esau, man, he ain't even giving you niggas crumbs. Speaking of you Christians, man. You know, y'all getting microscopic particles of what Esau got, man. But the Lord said that he was going to give us everything. First, the Lord is going to fulfill us spiritually, and then the Lord is going to fulfill us on a physical level, man. We're going to be whole, you know. We're not going to be one without the other, you know. Right now, we're being healed spiritually, you know. Then we're going to receive the blessings, you know, physically. But Jake don't want that, man. Jake want to get carnal riches here and then be dead spiritually. You know, so you're a loser, man. You know, you should want something better, man. You know, and a lot of those Christians, you know, they know that we're the Israelites, man, but they still want to be up in them churches, man, getting that money, man, getting the bag, so they can pull up in a Mercedes, man. So now these Israelites, they causing our money to, you know, to fluctuate.
Yeah.
You know, our money's starting to go down, man. A lot of people's leaving the churches.
Yep.
So now we got to put a stop to that Israelite thing, man.
But
Yeah.
you can't stop it.
You can't,
It's too
man.
late. And it is never anything you could have did about it anyways, because this is all the Lord's word.
hmm
You know. Is there any more on that?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, I got this is Baruch 2 and verse 30. Yeah, straight to the point. It says, "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people." And that's Jake. Even to this day, they're stiff-necked. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves.
Ooh, yep.
And that's what we're seeing. Hey, in the land, what was a captivity? You know, hey, here in America.
That's right.
And how are they remembering themselves? Hey, we read it in Psalms 83rd. We read it in what is it, Romans, that we had to have the falling away 1st, or no, 2nd Thessalonians.
Yep.
And then we read it in Psalms 83rd that our enemies conspired against us to make us forget. But what did the Lord say? In the land of our captivities, we shall remember ourselves. It says,
this is prophecy being played out right before your eyes.
Right before our eyes. This is the
You
Great
know?
Awakening. It says, and you, hey, Esau, hey, there's going to be more Jake waking up.
Yep.
Hey, you can't stop it. The whole remnant.
There's gonna be more camps popping up.
Yep. Hey, there's gonna be camps on every corner, and sooner or later, yeah, you're gonna have to come with that famine of the word. But guess what? You're gonna have to shut the internet off. But that's also prophecy, so you can't stop it. It says, "And shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I give them an heart and ears to hear." Hey, and that's the Spirit. You know, we read it in what was it, Revelations, the 11th chapter. Hey, that Spirit was given to us by Yahweh Shem outside, the gift of faith to understand, okay, we are the children of Israel. Hey, the Lord is fulfilling prophecy. The Lord is dealing with us. It says, Salak, it says, and shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I give them an heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their and that's another testament that the name is really important. You know, you have a lot of groups out there that still say, you know, Jesus or the Most High, or the name doesn't matter. But no, the Lord specifically gave us his name.
That's right.
It says, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord. And that's what you're seeing. And we're going back to the old past, the old ways. You know, we're following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. But see, now we have Yahweh Shai, so we have the full understanding that, hey, we weren't perfect. We were never supposed to be perfect. But with Yahweh Shai, we have a chance at mercy.
Yep.
You know? It says, last verse, it says, actually a couple more. It says, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath to their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it. And I will...
So the Lord's gonna fulfill that promise, man.
Yep.
You know, the Lord is not a man that he should lie. So you other nations got the Lord effed up, man.
Yep.
You know, thinking that the Lord, you know, cast away his people, and Esau, you gonna be in a perpetual rulership. That's why he got that diabolical plan, the MOTB, which was really given to you by the Lord. You know, hey, but the Lord did not forget his people. The promise is still going to be fulfilled.
Yep.
You know, we're still going to enter into that second covenant. Right now, we're in the grace period. You know, but then once we enter into that second covenant, we're going to be made perfect. We're never going to go off from sinning or sinning against our power. So therefore, the Lord is not going to have a reason to punish us again, which means we're going to have a perpetual rulership forever. And hey, this kingdom's going out the door, man, as we speak, man. So that salvation is near. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, and this promise, hey, is starting with what? With us remembering, you know?
Exactly. That's where it starts from. The spirit of life enter into us, like the brother said, is the knowledge. You know? So this right here is going to lead to everlasting life. This is going to lead to a kingdom. This right here is going to lead to dominion. And that's why Esau, he's trying to stop it. But again, you can't.
Nope.
You know? But he understands that this is nation building, man. We can't have Jake's rising up. Why you think they shut down Black Wall Street?
Yeah.
You know, and other ventures that Jake try to go off and do, because Esau doesn't want Jake, you know, to rise up, man.
Yeah. Hey, but see, this is the spiritual temple being built,
Mhm.
and you can't do nothing against it. You know.
Yep, because now it's not a physical building you can go to. You know, hey man, you got it. Right?
Yeah, it's beautiful. You know,
Mhm.
hey, we're living in, like I said, we're living in biblical times. You know, and the Lord is showing forth His work now. If you can see it, hey, you're rejoicing. You
Mhm.
know, but if you can't, hey, you know, maybe you know the Lord will still have mercy on you on this time. But if not, hey, you'll come back in the kingdom to see it. But it says, which I promised with the oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them.
Ooh.
Hey, so we're never going to forget our heritage again. We're never going to go off.
Yep.
It's establishing that second covenant. It tells you, what is that, Jeremiah the 31st chapter, I believe, and Hebrews the 11th chapter or 10th chapter. It tells you about the second covenant. It tells us about the new bodies, the laws being in our inward parts, living forever, you know? Hey, so we're not going to have any of the curses come upon us. It's just going to be blessing upon blessing, you know? And we're going to be in rulership with joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. And there's nothing you can do about it, Esau.
Yep. Hey, we're back, and we're back for good. You know, Esau, you're not gonna be able to rock Jake back to sleep no more. You know, Esau, he's trying to do his enchantments and his spells. You know, they got witches behind the scenes. Esau, he's praying to Satan. You know, but the scriptures say there's no enchantment against Jacob, man. You know, so hey, the cat's out of the bag, Esau. The only thing you have left to do is come down with that great wrath. And then the Lord is going to show you that you made the wrong move, because then men's going to have spiritual power, man. You know, and that's going to be the power of Yahweh Shema Shai being, you know, put on display, you know, to let you know that it's going to further confirm that we the people, man. You know, so it's a lose situation for you, Esau. There's no way you're going to be able to, you know, put an end to what the Lord had. Well, actually, there's a scripture that says, if this thing was of man, it shall come to naught.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that earlier.
You know, but this thing is not of man. That's why, Esau, you don't even know how to approach the Israelites. The only thing you're going to have to try to do is do false flags, you know. But that's even going to be bullshit, because people's going to be able to see through that.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have to come down with physical wrath. And then the Lord is going to show you his power, man. You know. Then you're going to have to administer the MOTB. And then you're going to, you're going to get 2/3 of Jake. But then the Lord has a small remnant that's going to replenish all the Jakes that die on this side, man. You know? So Esau, just get ready for slavery, man. Because no matter which way you cut it, Esau, you're done. And the rest of you heathen nations that had a hand in putting us down, you're going to have to pay in the kingdom. You're going to have to, hey, hardcore labor. You know, you're going to be the ones building up the kingdom. All right? You heathens, you have a part of the kingdom, because you're going to build it up.
Yep. And all you Jake who want to stay with Esau, hey, you're just going to be killed, you know?
Yep. You're just going to have to come back as babies, then you're going to be in your right mind.
Yep. I got that real quick in Acts. It says Acts 5:38. It says, and now I say unto you, refrain from these men. And when you read up, it was Gamaliel. I always say that name wrong, but Gamaliel, you know, who was talking to the high priest, you know. But it says, and now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. Hey, so there's nothing you got to worry. There ain't no propaganda you need to push out. Hey, if this was really not of the Lord, then hey, you would trust the Lord and he would make us, you know, come to naught.
Yep.
But it is of the Lord. It says, but if it be of the Most High, you cannot overthrow it, lest happily you be found even to fight against the Most High. So there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
And really, you're fighting against what Yahweh Shem Shai set up. Because
Exactly.
we're reading the prophecies. We read them, you know? We're reading what the Lord said he was going to do. We're reading about the falling away. We're reading about the awakening. We're reading about these nations helping with that falling away. But now we're coming back to understanding who we are.
Yep. And then the more and more we're waking up, the more and more resistance we're being met with.
Yep.
You know, but then that resistance that's coming up against us is really coming up against Yahweh Shema Shai, which in return there's gonna be a great judgment that's gonna take place. You know, so hey man, the scriptures say that offenses must come, right? But it says woe unto them who would come by. You know, and the main one is Esau Edom, this devil, man. All right, but then you also, again, going back to Jake, 2/3 of Israel, you also have niggas that don't want us to receive the kingdom. You know, Jake, hey man, it is what it is, but more and more Israelites is gonna wake up.
Yep.
Some Jake is gonna wake up for salvation, some Jake is gonna wake up for destruction, man. But nevertheless, it tell you Matthew 24:14. If here, I'll get it real quick.
Yep.
This is Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. So everybody's going to hear what the Lord has to say about them. And it says, and then shall the end come. All right. And then the destruction, you know, and we're so close to the end. That's why everything is building up. Is about to reach that peak, you know, to where the Lord is going to cut the word off at the height of this word going out, at the height of Israelites waking up. And then Esau's going to come with the persecution, but the Lord is going to come with the plagues and the judgments, man.
Yep. Which is all prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's another testament to see that, hey, Christianity wasn't it. You know, because Christianity is all over the world. But did the end come? No. And now, what do you see now? You see GMS Germany, you know, brothers in Nigeria, brothers in Central America, you know, all over the world. Other parts of Europe, Holland, England, you know. And then this word is gaining steam.
Yep. You're going to have Israelites wake up in Russia.
Yeah.
You know. You're going to have Israelites waking up in India. Israelites waking up, you know, everywhere. Because the scriptures speak about an innumerable amount of Israelites that's part of the 1/3, you know. So there's going to be a lot of Israelites that's going to wake up. They're going to believe in the Lord. All right. And the Lord is doing this all by the word, by the way. They're going to believe on the testimony. That's how important it is for this word to go out in 100% truth. You know, not 50%, 75%, 99%. The Lord wants this truth to be sound, man. Because 100% truth is the spirit of Yahweh Shai. You got it.
Yep. Hey, but you know, I just wanted to get this Ezekiel 37. We can end up on this if the Spirit allows. But this is the prophecy. Ezekiel 37. This is the prophecy of us waking up, if you can receive it. It says, the hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord power, thou knowest.
Yep, and that's Jake, man, the dry bones. That's why in Revelations it tell you that these nations, they seen our dead bodies, but didn't suffer to put us in graves, because that's Jake being in that dead state of mind, being a degenerate, you know, being pretty much everything outside of being the Lord's chosen people, an Israelite.
Yep, and that's that knowledge and wisdom, you know, and that's why we were dead. And what does it say? The spirit is what quickeneth, which means to make alive. It says again, he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. And that's what you're seeing right now. There's nothing new under the sun. Prophets are doing the same exact thing. Prophesying to the bones, letting them know who they are. And what are they doing? That's why you have the Great Awakening.
Yep.
It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live.
Yep, the wisdom.
Yep. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and you shall live, and you shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai.
Yep.
And before we knew this knowledge, we didn't know who the Lord was. We didn't even know the names or nothing. Most of us probably prayed to Jesus, the Most High, but that was about it. We didn't know anything about old and new apocrypha. We didn't know how to put them all together. We didn't have that faith. We didn't have that wisdom. But now that we have this wisdom, we know the Lord.
Yep.
It says, verse 7, so I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. And then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, and great exceeding army.
Yep. And that's links up with Revelations 11 and 11.
Yep.
When they stood upon their feet. But then it even says a great exceeding army. That's the elect, man. And I was gonna say that's why Esau's so terrified,
exactly.
man.
Exactly. Yep.
Because Esau, he's literally looking at the next rulers of the earth, the next leaders.
And it's an army, It says, then he said, verse 11, then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Hey, so he's breaking it down. Behold, they say, our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, O my people, I will open your graves, and cause you to come up out of your graves, and bring you into the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am the Lord, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall you know that I, the Lord, have spoken it and performed it, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
So we're at the latter end of this now.
Yep.
The Lord is getting ready to put us in our land, man. Because hey, man, once the Lord cut the word off, that means it's on to the next stage. A destruction and salvation. You got.
Yep. And when read up above, it said, our hope was lost. That's what it felt like.
Yep. That falling away.
Yep. That's what it felt like. It felt like the Lord cut us off. It felt like we had no hope. We were hoping in idols.
We had no future.
Yep.
No certain direction, especially being in America. Yeah.
But what did the Lord say? He said he's going to bring us back into the land of Israel. Hey, that's the gospel. It says, and you shall know that I am the Lord when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall you know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, have spoken it. And like we read in Isaiah 55, the Lord's word does not go out void.
That's right.
So this is what we believe in, and this is what we see. This prophecy that we're reading, we're actually seeing real time. It says, and performed it, saith the Lord. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick, and write upon it for Judah, and for the children of Israel his companions. Then take another stick, and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel his companions. The 12 tribe chart. There's no coincidence why it's on pieces of wood. It's on planks, with the tribes broken down and who they are today.
Yep.
This is actual prophecy. It says, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? And that's what a lot of people do. Hey, they see that they're on the sign, and what is this?
And that's how you know that this is a real deal, because those signs is something that has never been done before.
Yep.
And it's so iconic to see the signs out there and brothers teaching in garments. This is the real deal, man. This is it. This is the Bible being played out, man. And we're reading the very scripture where it speaks about the 12 tribes chart, man. So hey, man, it's heavy. For those that have eyes to see and ears to hear, man. You got it.
Yep. It says, and the sticks wherein thou writest shall be in thy hand before thine eyes, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places, when they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their power.
Yep. And you see that the Lord is bringing the two, Joseph and Judah. All right. You got the southern kingdom, the northern kingdom. The Lord is bringing them together, man. They tell you that in Amos 9, where the Lord is going to close the breaches thereof. That's why you see so-called Latinos and Native and Seminole Indians coming together with so-called Negroes. You know, hey, that bond is being mended by Yahweh Shema Shai to fulfill prophecy. You know, and ultimately is going to be completed on a grand scale in the kingdom. You know, because all Israelites is going to be in their right mind. You know, but right now the Lord is starting off with the house of David, man.
Yep.
You got it.
And that's the spirit. 24. And David, I'll just finish out the chapter. And David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they shall all have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. And hey, this is coming. This is all coming. Hey, the Lord is gonna do it in His time. He's gonna perform this miracle. It says, and they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. And see, this is the spirit. This is what we're telling our people. This is the gospel, the good news. But as we read up, what did it start with? It started with that spirit being put into the bones, into the bodies. So it started with this word, this remembrance. This acknowledging that yes, we are the children of Israel. And then after then what's coming? Hey, the Lord is actually going to perform and put us back into the land.
Yep. And that's why you're seeing all these people bug out about us waking up, because what this means is so much greater than us just saying we're Israelites, man.
Yep.
The Lord about to get us up out of here and raise us up, man. But yeah.
The last couple precepts, it says, moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. Hey, so it's going to be a kingdom forever. It's going to be pure righteousness and blessings forever. This is what's coming. It says, my tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their power, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore. Hey, so these heathen are going to understand. Once that time comes, once Yahweh Shai comes back, hey, and he takes the so-called white man out of power, all these different nations, and he beams up the elect and places them back in Israel, hey, the heathen are going to be no more ever going to be able to rule.
Yep.
They're always going to be under us, and they're going to know. And they're going to know forever. And we're going to know forever.
Yep.
Hey, that we are the children of Israel.
Yep. Those same heathen that cut us off and try to cut us off for good, hey, the Lord going to show them, man, when they in slavery, and they getting paid back, and they have to be subject unto us, they eating the crumbs from us, they going to know, like the scriptures say.
Yep. Hey, but hey, that's pretty much it. But as we read, hey, we're seeing prophecy right now, the Great Awakening, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Yep.
Whether you want it to happen or not, whether you can see it or not, hey, it's all happening right before our very eyes, and we read it. This is the proof. We got the scriptural proof. If you can't believe it, hey, you gotta ask the Lord for more faith. And if you can, hey, this is a faith booster. This is what's hey, what's next? What do we see coming next? Hey, there's not too many prophecies next. What do you got? The MOTB, Jacob's trouble, famine of the word, and then World War III, and then Yahweh Shai coming. Hey, not necessarily in that order, but hey, a couple more prophecies coming, and that's it. But see, this Great Awakening, like the brother mentioned earlier, hey, it's just gonna progress, and eventually you're gonna see thousands of people everywhere, every street corner, coming to the camps, listening and learning, believing in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, believing of the promises of the covenants, you know. And then what? Shortly after that, Esau's gonna have to shut it down. But it doesn't matter at that point. Hey, like we read it, the word of the Lord does not go out void.
Yep, it already accomplished what it's supposed to accomplish.
Yep.
You know, because the Lord controls how long the word go out and how long it don't. So the famine of the word hit. We all know the Lord. All right, we moving to the next stage.
Yeah.
All right,
it's the next level.
Yep.
You know, hey, but hey, how much more faith you gonna have in that day? You know, because you're seeing it again. You're seeing prophecy being played out right before your eyes.
The scriptures say faith shall flourish.
Yep.
You know, and the scriptures also say that the truth that has been so long without fruit, how's it go? It shall flourish too.
Yeah, roughly paraphrasing.
Roughly paraphrasing. So this truth that's been so long without fruit, you know, hey man, it's gonna sprout, man.
Yep.
It's gonna take off, man, and then to the point where the whole universe, everywhere in the universe, is gonna know this truth. You know, everybody's gonna know Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Ain't gonna be no questions.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, but with that, you know, hey, Lord's will, this was edifying. Once again, we want to give all honor, praises, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash.
Double honors once again to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Shalom to the elect and a Baba Ball.
Shalom to the elect, a Baba Ball.